Calling Deputies Pat Casey and Shane Cassells. They have 10 minutes between them. Deputy Pat Casey.
I can hear indeed with frustration and disappointment that I will be opposing this bill tonight. I'm frustrated because I wanted this Dáil to be different than previous versions, where this chamber is used for party political gamesmanship, instead of a representative exchange of policy proposals to resolve the challenges that our nation faces. And there is no doubt about it that housing is a national crisis that requires urgent action. It was for that very reason that, even with the uncertainty around the government formation, that this House agreed to set up an all-party committee on housing and homelessness, a call which was led by Sinn Féin. This committee, with members from Sinn Féin, including Deputy O'Brien, have been working very hard for the last 8 weeks under the chairmanship of my colleague John Curran, to produce a report that will contain targeted actions that is to be published within 72 hours. Not having access to this report, I can only assume that red certainty has been effectively dealt with, and with a significant input from Deputy O'Brien himself. So the responsible, purposeful and correct course of action is to wait for this report and then implement the actions recommended as quickly as possible. There will be differences of opinion on some of these actions, and that is to be expected, but to preempt this report with a simplistic bill designed to generate publicity is not new politics. It is old, cynical and frustrating politics that I will not support. I will work positively and in good faith with every deputy from every political perspective who wants to provide solutions for those trapped in a rental market that is rocketing out of control. But we must not be tempted to put in place quick fix solutions which have the counter result of rental houses and apartments being sold and therefore shrinking the supply even more. I am saddened tonight because families and tenants who are experiencing increasing and unaffordable rents, with the financial pressures and anxiety that goes with that, deserve better than the political game being played out here tonight. They are looking towards politicians to work together to tackle what is a complex social and economic issue. And I believe that housing is a social and economic right, not a speculative market to be exploited at will. This Dáil must work to re-establish a working housing sector where the rental market fits into the wider housing framework designed for the demographic realities of Ireland in 2016 and beyond. As a TD from Wicklow in East Carlow, I am acutely aware of the varying rental issues in my commuting constituency. In North Wicklow, rents have already spiralled out of the reach of prospective tenants and out of control of existing tenants. What this bill will do, if passed, will result in an increase in property owners exiting the rental market, thus forcing more families out of their homes. This is an indisputable and sad fact. I am already seeing this happening with the rental accommodation scheme, whereby local authorities pay the rent to private landlords on behalf of tenants for a set term. The gap, however, between what can be paid by local authorities and what the private sector can demand has increased dramatically throughout Wicklow in recent years. And the result, landlords are exiting RAS, selling the houses, and families are being made homeless. This is just one area of the rental sector where we can clearly see that tonight's bill would result in making the situation even worse. I believe that rent certainty is needed, and Fianna Fail proposed measures published in our policy document Generation Rent to stabilise in rent prices immediately by restricting rents to an area-based rental index both within and between tenancies. This is a similar model that is in operation in many German cities. This proposal would be for a maximum of 3-year period only, pending annual reviews of the effects of the regulation on the market supply. But equally, what is required in the Irish context is a wide-ranging package of housing actions, where each sector, public and private, rental and ownership, building and regulatory, are clearly managed. This will ensure that actions in one area will not cause difficulties in another. At this stage, I hope to ask that this bill be withdrawn to allow an all-party report to be discussed by all deputies, and where this Dáil can be an example of new politics working on behalf of all the people, not just a smokescreen for the old and cynical political game which only erodes people's trust in the ability of politics to manage the housing crisis.
I now come to Fianna Fail.